Thanks for joining us on 9 News Plus. I'm Chris Bianchi. There's a big shortage in blood donations right now, both in Colorado and across the country. We spoke with Brooke Way from Vitalant for more about the shortage, why there is one, and what you can do to help.
Thanks so much for joining us here, Brooke. Let me start by asking you about the overall situation in terms of the blood drive shortage right now. I understand that there is one. Can you tell us a bit more about it, please?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we are seeing our lowest supply of blood here at Vitalant in a year. So it's really taken a drastic drop over the past few months, especially. And that's because we're coming out of the holiday season, which is a really hard time for blood donation, as well as the winter weather months right now. So that's really impacted our blood donation. And we're still trying to make up for lost units because of the pandemic as well. So we are really getting hit hard right now. We do have an emergency shortage of blood here in Colorado and across the United States.
When you say that there's an emergency shortage, what does that technically mean?
Yeah, so here at Vitalant, we like to have a 4-day supply of all types of blood on our shelves at all times to be able to send to those hospitals when they need it. Right now, we are seeing about a 2-day supply of most types, and type O, which is the most transfused type, we're seeing a 1-day supply. So we don't have the supply that we want to have on our shelves to be able to send when it's needed most. We don't want those doctors or hospitals to have to make those impassable choices of whether a patient receives a blood transfusion or may have to wait.
Absolutely. So that's extra important. We'll get to some of those ways to donate here in just a second, maybe some other Vitalant led solutions as well. But I guess when it comes to, you mentioned that this is a shortage, biggest shortage in a year, but you mentioned that the reasons for it were the winter weather and coming out of the holidays. Is this a time of year where we tend to see these sorts of shortages?
Exactly. Winter weather months are a really difficult time every single year. I mean, with that recent cold snap we had before Christmas, we had 55 blood drives cancel here in the Colorado region, which meant 1,300 units went uncollected just in that time span. So, when it's snowing and people can't get to centers or those blood drives are canceled, that means we're not able to collect those units. So winter is definitely a difficult time for us. That's why every January is National Blood Donor Month, because it's a time to remind people, hey, if you're eligible and you can make it into a center or blood drive, we really need you to step up right now and make an appointment to give blood with us.
Absolutely. So certainly extra important to do so right now. Another question. If you've had COVID recently, is that a limitation and is that leading to some of these shortages as well?
Well, we just ask that you fully recovered from COVID-19. It needs to be at least 10 days since you've recovered. And if you have a COVID-19 vaccination, that does not prevent you from giving blood. So anyone who's vaccinated is still welcome to give blood with us. There's no waiting period after you receive a vaccination. One thing we are seeing as a result of the pandemic, in 2019 compared to now in this current time frame, we've seen a drop by 20% of the number of people coming in to get blood. So, the way people are living their lives now before the pandemic to now is really changed. And we're seeing blood donation as not a part of people's lives like it was. People just aren't doing it anymore. And that's a huge problem because we need people to come in, whether that's regular donors who've given for a long time or those new donors who have never tried it before. We really need the new generation to be coming in and giving blood.
So we certainly need some adaptation on the end of people who are willing to donate blood. Is there anything that you, Vitalant, specifically doing to try and address some of these shortages, maybe reach people a bit better as well?
Oh yeah, we are reaching those eligible donors in our system that can come and give blood with us. We send emails, texts, we call people. If you are a Vitalant donor, you probably know this. We try to reach you as often as we can so that we can really get to those donors and remind them we need you right now. We're also reaching out to the media because it's really important that we get the word out that donations are needed right now. We just encourage anyone right now to make an appointment. We have walk-ins, but appointments are really encouraged just so we know you have a spot when you come in, and it's the most enjoyable experience for you.
Absolutely. And just as, I guess, basic reminders for those who may have donated recently, how long do you have to wait in between donating blood periods?
Yeah, so whole blood donation, which is the most common blood donation people think about, you have to wait 56 days in between donations. So we encourage people to give at least 6 times a year, which is quite a bit. Platelet donations, so those are actually needed for cancer patients. A lot of cancer patients rely on platelet donation during their treatment. And so platelets, you can actually give up from every 7 days to sometimes people do every 2 weeks. Platelets only last a week, so they're needed constantly because they don't last as long.
Absolutely. So I guess finally, what are the best ways to donate? Give us all the information we need to get that as easily as possible for our viewers.
Yeah, so if you're interested in donating, just go to vitalant.org. You can search your zip code, find the nearest blood donation center or blood drive happening in your area, and just make an appointment to give. There's also an eligibility section that you can check all of your questions, make sure you are actually able to come give with us, and then you just make an appointment. There's a number to call if you have any questions about your health or medications before you come in. We just make it as convenient as possible for our donors to come visit us.
Absolutely. Well, Brooke, thank you so much for giving us some of this valuable information and lending us a bit more about this, because it's obviously really important. So make sure you get out and donate blood today. I'll actually sign up for that later on today as well. So again, be part of the solution out there. But Brooke, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus today.
Thanks so much.